Welcome into the first episode of the Bobcast here for the 2021 season. We are starting things off with the women's basketball team, and I'm here with head coach Carrie Saunders. And coach, your team off to a 2-0 start this year, a 73-72 win over Davis and Elkins on Thursday, and a 66-63 win over West Virginia Wesleyan on Sunday. But before we get to the games, just how good does it feel to finally be back out on the court and playing basketball again?
Yeah, it feels fantastic. It's a weird time, right? We ended practice the first day of official practice, October 15th. That was the last time we saw our girls, and we did a lot of Zoom stuff and over the holiday and just trying to keep them in shape and got them back, and we had about 9, 10 practices until we were back full go. So it feels great. I think during this time they really understand how lucky they are to play the game that they love, how quickly it can be taken away from them, how quickly 4 years goes. You could go on and on about, just how lucky we are to be playing and that the Mountain East is allowing us to play and Frostburg is doing everything that they can to allow us to play. So it feels really great to be back out there and kind of just getting back to regular life. And I think that's what the girls are enjoying too. And they've come back, great attitude. Whatever we have to do for COVID protocol, they do it without blinking an eye. So that makes it fun too, that they're ready and that they don't care what they have to do, but they just want to play. So yeah, it's great getting back out there.
And it's great to get off to such a good start, 2-0. To start the season, let's start with the Davis and Elkins game on Thursday. You guys got off to a really great start, 23-6 after the first quarter. You shot 56% in that first quarter. You held D&E to just 17%. What allowed your team to have such a hot start in that game?
Yeah, we had a fantastic start. To start on the road, get there in a new environment, COVID protocols, and then to come out that hot was fantastic to see. I think the cause of that, it was just our tempo. We were very, very unselfish in that first quarter. Ball movement, everything was clicking, and we seemed calm. And that's what I told the girls before we went out there. I said, I'm very calm, I'm very confident, and I hope that you guys are too. And I think they carried that over to the first quarter, which allowed us to get off to that hot start. But everybody was involved, and that was the big thing. And that's the key to this year, is to get everybody involved. And so, it worked, and we came out to a hot start. A lot of our percentage shooting was layups. We were getting to the rim. So you can shoot a high percentage when you get to the rim. And then defensively, we were communicating, we were talking, we were hustling. Every shot was contested. We weren't allowing them to get paint touches. So, yeah, everything was clicking that first quarter for sure.
And it was the flip side in the West Virginia Wesleyan game. A slow start, but you picked it up in the fourth quarter when your team shot 50%. Wesleyan shot 35. When you look at these two games, they're both close games that went down to the final minute. What allowed your team, as the game wore on and got into the final minutes, what allowed your team to be able to persevere through everything and get those two wins?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. We persevered to get both of the wins. Both of them were very, very different games. They were both close, but they were extremely different in the way that we played. Neither of them we had a scout. D&E's got a new coach. Westland's game got canceled, so we were going in blind to both games. And we got off to a really slow start yesterday against Westland. And, we all knew what was going on, but it was one of those things that we couldn't get out of our funk for a while. Every time out we were saying the same things. And it takes one person, and that's exactly what happened in both games. Drew Donathan in the first game, I think Shelby yesterday, provided us that spark, and that's what it took, is that one person to make that one play, that one unselfish play, and that gets us going. So they were two very, very complete different games. I don't think we played well yesterday at all against Westland, but we persevered, and that's what's great to see as a coach, and that's what we talked about, is that this team has grit. They don't want to lose. So they're going to find a way to pull it out, and that's exactly what they did.
One player that's really shined so far this year has been Morgan Nabrowski. It's back-to-back 20-point games for her, 20 against Wesleyan, 21 against Davis and Elkins. She only had two 20-point games all of last season, already matching that through two games. What has she shown you as she starts her junior season?
Yeah, she came into work, and that's what we had a conversation. It's if you want to be great, you've got to put in the work, and that's exactly what she's done. She had two 20-point games, but she was, I think, 5 for 13 from the free throw line. And this morning at 9 a.m., she's in shooting free throws. And that's what sets her apart. And also this team. I think the team does a good job of putting in that extra work and realizing when they need to put in extra work. But she's done an incredible job. It's what we need from her. We need her to be a little bit of everything on the floor. She makes smart defensive plays, for the most part. Offensively, she gets to the rim. She can shoot. She's versatile. She can defend bigger and smaller people. So she's kind of thrown in a lot of different roles. And we're hard on her. We're very hard on her this year. And she can take it. And I think by her taking it, it allows everybody else to kind of relax and say, oh, Mo's scoring 20 points and they're riding her. The coaches are on her. And she takes it phenomenally. And she moves on, and that's a testament to her. But yeah, she's done an incredible job. Off to a really great start. I hope it continues for sure.
And on the flip side, you've had some of the newcomers, some first years that you've really had confidence in putting them out on the floor. Rihanna Hall has started both games and had 19 and 8 yesterday against Wesleyan. Brene Ford, also another first year that hasn't started, but you've given starter minutes to through the first two games. What gives you the confidence to put them out on the floor and have them log such big minutes during these first two games?
There's a lot of things that contribute to that. One, their IQ. They understand the game. In practices, they're asking the right questions. They're competitive. They do all of those little things, but also one of those intangible things is their personalities. Like, they are so fun to be around. The team, I think, gravitates to them as well. Neither of them take the game too seriously in a good way. They're obviously competitive, and when it's game time, they're go, but they know how to laugh off their mistakes or say something, that kind of just lightens the mood. And I know it sounds weird, but that's a good quality to have, especially as a freshman. I think that really portrays that you have a lot of confidence in yourself. And Ree is, she's strong. I tell her if you don't go post somebody up and you don't go take somebody to the rim, you're doing yourself and your team a disservice. Like, she is if she's barreling down the lane, I don't want to be there. That's for sure. So she's really coming into her game. And Brene is a heck of a defender. She's quick. She's got a little floater, which I love. On the offensive side, she makes good decisions, and she's very, very coachable. And that's what I like about her is she's cued into the sideline. But they're just both great teammates, and I think that is a testament to them and their game as well.
2 games, 2 wins, 2 close wins. But when you look back at them, you want to just move forward at this point. But when you take one last look back, what has your team, in your eyes, really excelled at the most through these first 2 games?
I think perseverance. Like, you look back, and a lot of the MAC has practiced a lot more than we have. Our team is completely different. We graduated, 2 leading scorers and 2 very different roles. We're playing a completely different style of basketball, so it's basically new to everybody. Returners are also learning. And we've persevered, and that's exactly what I love about them, and they're so much fun to be around. I've said that to multiple people, is they're just fun to coach. They're fun to be around. They laugh and joke, but when time gets serious, they know how to get serious. And that's all a coach can ask for, is I feel like they're really comfortable with each other, no matter if they're a freshman or a senior. They don't care who gets the credit. In the locker room after the game, I've said at least 4 or 5 different people's names in 2 games, and that's pretty great. And that's what I keep telling them. But I would say perseverance is definitely the word for the week, because they were 2 close games, but when we look back, they were 2 must-wins to achieve our goals. So I'm really proud of this group for starting 2-0 this week.
Now, this upcoming week, one more home game on Wednesday. You take on Wheeling before you travel to West Liberty on Saturday. What do you expect to see from your team this week?
Um, I expect us to recover. Today's an off day, and take your time and develop your stamina again in your body, and take care of yourself. But then we've got one practice to prep for a really good wheeling team, and we talked about that in post game. And I'm just looking for them to come in focused. We're 2-0, but that means nothing. I think we're about to hit a really rough patch this week, but I think they're two very winnable games. So I think this week will tell us a lot about where we are and what type of team we are, and also how we bounce back from a game that we don't think that we played overly well but still won. So there's a lot going into this week. Like you said, we're playing a lot of different people and a lot of young people, and they've never experienced this physicality and this type of work ethic. And so it's a matter of us staying healthy and us learning how to navigate through being tired and sore and still come out with wins and be focused. So that's what I'm looking for. Same type of energy. We're 2-0, but you've got to go into it like we're 0-2. But we've also got to go into it with a confidence that we can beat anybody. So it's just learning and teaching this team that we're 2-0 for a reason, but we've still got a lot of work to do.
Well, Coach, best of luck as you move forward this week and the rest of the season, and happy to have you back here on the Bobcast.
Thank you.
Next up on the Bobcast, presented by the Bobcat Sports Network, we shift over to men's basketball, and I'm here with head coach Sean Brown. Coach, a 1-1 opening week for your guys, a loss in the season opener at Davis and Elkins on Thursday, 108-100. And then a victory in the home opener against West Virginia Wesleyan on Sunday, 81-77. But before we get into the games themselves, just how good does it feel to be back on the court playing basketball again after so long?
Man, it feels incredible to be back on the court, playing ball again. Doing what we love to do. Being in the gym and being around these guys and pushing these guys on and off the court. It just feels amazing being back on the court.
Now let's start with the Davis and Elkins game first.
Yes,
I
sir.
mentioned a 108-100 loss. Offense looked really good for you guys. What were your takeaways from that game?
Well, I think we were a little disorganized, which was to be expected with the layoff and not having any scrimmages to kind of work out the kinks. But that's no excuse because they had the same issue. We let that one get away from us. It was a back and forth kind of game, and then we took a nice size lead, and then our point guard started cramping right around the 5 minute mark. I can't remember exactly when, and when we had to take him out the game, they kind of exposed that, and and we weren't able to recover from it, and they also went to a zone, which affected us quite a bit there towards the end, and we didn't handle it really well. I didn't have my guys in position to handle that situation really well. So we looked at the tape, we watched the film, and several times, and we feel like we corrected a few things, and we will continue to to chip away at the things that we know that we didn't do really well. We also was missing our center for that game, which hurt us because we got beat up inside. Um, and he'll be back off his medical issue next game.
Now, and you guys were able to bounce back with a win on Sunday, 81-77 over West Virginia Wesleyan. And just two of the newcomers, which I'll get to in a moment, but two of the newcomers that really stood out for your team in that game. Ajay Edwards, 27 points, 21 of them in the first half. And then the second half was the Maryland Eastern Shore transfer, Cannon Bartley. 14 of his 16 points came in the second half. What did you see from your guys in that game yesterday?
Well, I seen that our guys were, they were they were trying to press a little bit early. We were pressing a little bit early. Trying to get it all at one time. It's going to take some time for our guys to gel. Talent. It's obvious that we have a different amount of talent in the program, a different type of talent in the program. Edwards, he kind of kept us. he kept us alive in that first half. He kept us afloat. He was playing his game. I mean, he's a smooth kind of player. He's really good. He's a special player. Probably our top recruit this off season. One of, if not one of two, um, two of our top recruits this off season. So this is what's expected of Ajay. Just to be completely honest with you, um, we had to settle down. Had to really settle down and really start taking advantage of some of our mismatches. Bartley, he's a special talent, a Florida kid, and he's very very athletic. He's super coachable, great kid on and off the floor. He's just trying to feel his way right now. Um, hadn't had a lot of reps with the guys, but he's super talented. As you mentioned, he's the transfer from Eastern Shore. Um, he was a starter there for 2 years, so he does have the experience that we like, and he'll get it. We're not worried about Mr. Bartley. He'll be fine. It's once these guys gel together, we'll be just fine. But we're happy with where Kanan is right now. He's doing well in grad school, also knocking down over a 3.0 GPA. So Ajay with a 3.7 first semester. So these guys are coming in. They're ready to go on and off the floor. They're grown men.
And you touched on it a little bit just there. The newcomers for this team have really been strong so far. You mentioned Najee Edwards, 59 points through 2 games for him. Kanan Bartley, back-to-back 16-point games for him. Also, Jahar Williams knocked down a bunch of key threes down the stretch in the West Virginia Wesleyan win and has back-to-back double-digit games for him, the transfer from William and Mary. Did you expect, I know you said you expected it from Edwards, just given the caliber of player he is, but did you expect all of these newcomers, the 3 I mentioned, to have such a profound impact right off the bat?
I did. If you want to be honest with you, I did. What I didn't know was how fast they gel, and losing a lot of losing a lot of the preseason and a lot of our practice time leading up to our first game. Um, they're going to have to find that rhythm on the court. And heck, it might not even come this year. But yes, we expected all 3 of those guys to come in and play well. Mr. Williams, he had planned on redshirting to begin with coming in. So we initially were going to redshirt him before the NCAA rules changed. So he had a few things working against him. He had to kind of flip the switch. He had
That was only ruled on recently, too, so it's
absolutely.
only a little bit of time to get ready to go.
Absolutely. So he had to mentally prepare to actually play this year too, which he didn't. He was going to redshirt and really grind this whole year through to kind of get prepared for next year. But he kind of had to flip the switch and get ready to go. Which, in athletics, things change in an instance, and that's on every level. So we're expecting him to be to contribute and be ready to go. I mean, he's a 6'5", 6'6" shooting guard. We're kind of playing him out of position at a 3-4 right now, but he'll once some of our guys come back off of injury, he'll be fine.
One of the returners that has stood out to me so far, not necessarily on the stat sheet, but someone who's really just brought a lot of energy to the court, is your point guard, Jalen Johnson. What does he provide to this team? You gave him the start yesterday after he came off the bench against Davis and Elkins. What does he provide to this team when he's out there on the floor?
Jalen's a special player, man. He's so quick, so athletic, so agile, but yet he's just scratching the surface. What he brings ball pressure for us. He changed the tempo for us. We want to play a certain way. We want to play fast but under control, and we're trying to get him. We're trying to get the under control part
Yeah.
with him down right now, but But Jalen's a special player. He's growing every single day. Um, and Coach Schmidt has been working with him pretty extensively on how to be a point guard. Myself and Coach Schmidt has been point guards, but
Yeah.
he's kind of that buffer between myself and the players. He's right there in the middle, in age between the two of us, and he got a way of reaching these guys. So Coach Schmidt has been really in his ear and Ajay's ear because Ajay kind of doubles as a point guard too. But Jalen's learning. He's learning the game. His feel for the game is getting better. We still want him to. There's still some things he got to get better at. Finding the open guy when he does drive and get into the lane, when he does get into the paint, finding those open shooters. That's one thing that we're working on, and he's working hard on doing that. But we don't want to take a detract from what he can do, because when he gets into the lane, he can be a problem too. Finish right hand, left hand on the right side, right hand on the left side, off balance, euros, floaters, teardrops, and he practices all this stuff. And he's 100 miles an hour. He's ready to go. Even when he's beat up, you can't tell. He's the fastest kid on the court, and he's always ready to play at a high level. So, he got some things he got to clean up. And unless he really falls off, I think we're gonna ride with him. We're gonna roll with him and see how well, how much we can get out of Jalen.
Another returner that had
Tough Baltimore kid. I'm sorry.
He is.
Tough.
No,
really,
he is.
really, really tough Baltimore kid.
Definitely,
Tough.
definitely. Another returner that has caught my eye, and it's talked about Jalen and his impact with his energy, but someone who had a really strong first game all around was Bo Sheen. 8 points, 8 rebounds in that season opener against Davis and Elkins. What does Bo provide to this club?
Well, Bo's very he's consistent. Okay, we can always count on him to play pretty good defense, to rebound the basketball, and just be solid. He's the kid we've been starting the last couple of games. Well, if you remember, he last year he brought us quite a bit off the bench, and he had some spot starts last year, and he played really well, but he had quite a few times where he was out with sicknesses, various sicknesses. But he'd come right back, and he'd do what he do. So we're proud with Bo's progression. His basketball IQ is growing. That's one of the things we were kind of waiting on, because he has the skills to play the game. But his basketball IQ has to grow. He's been in the gym more, getting an extra reps, kind of learning the game more. That's been helpful for his progression. Obviously, a 3.8, 3.9 kid. He's smart. He gets it, and he's only going to get better.
Now, you've played 2 games this year. You've had a series of practices. Season's underway. We're getting things going here. When you look at what this team can do moving out throughout the rest of the season, what excites you the most about your team?
Man, the fact that they all they all buy in, and they all really love each other. These guys really, they truly like each other, and I'm starting to see, guys band together and want to win for each other, not just, because we're coaching them to win, but they want to do well for each other. They want to help each other out. They want to help each other grow. Obviously we do have a lot of talent on the team, and we brought in a lot of talented players. We have a lot of alphas on the team, but these guys are right now, and this is part of the problem too. Right now they're trying to suppress their individual abilities to try to work within the team, which is we'd rather take that than the total opposite, where everybody's trying to do their own thing and get theirs. We're excited about what we have coming, moving forward, and the attitude of these guys and the buy-in of these guys. The coaching staff, we're going to turn it up another notch every week. And these guys are ready for it. These guys are wanting that extra work, and they're ready to move on to the next game.
Well, Coach, happy to have you back here on the Bobcast. First Bobcast of the season. Really enjoyed watching you guys this week and looking forward to more games throughout this season. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you. I do want to say thank you to my assistants, Jimmy Schmidt, Darren Graham, Matt McCullough. Those guys have been really working hard, man. They've been working extremely hard in the recruiting process and the on-court process. Coach Schmidt's done a great job of installing a new offense, and it's a work in progress. But I think we're headed in the right direction. Our administration has really supported us, and I really appreciate them doing all they can to get us back. Dr. Nowacek, Miss Troy Dell, Ruben Stevenson, those guys have done an excellent job, and we really appreciate their efforts in getting us back to playing ball, doing what we love to do. So, thank you.
Thanks,
And
Coach.
with that,
Appreciate it, Coach. Thanks.
have a good one.